guys? We are back in the hood. All right. All right. I'm gonna apologize because I'm new to this whole YouTube thing, so I don't really think as like a YouTuber, I guess yet. Like I'm not really like a I don't think when I play the game, I'm not thinking like, oh, I gotta like make a video out of this. Yeah, I'm not really in that mindset. So I went ahead and did for the last login day, you get four of those tickets. You know what I mean? Like the season or whatever they're called tickets. And I went and summoned with them, and I got a 5 star. I didn't. I usually don't get anything from these, so I didn't expect it. But yeah, I got this guy right here. Uh, he's kind of like outdated, but still a cool character. Uh, yeah, sorry again. I probably should have had it on tape. I was in class too, so it wouldn't help much. But yeah. Anyways, um, I have a couple of friends that want to get started playing the game, so they asked me to kind of make a like a beginner's guide of sorts, just so that they know what's going on. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. We're gonna start out with basically. What should we start? Let's start with the characters, like how to like max out characters and stuff like that. Um, Actually, what's the point of that? All right, let's start with the really basic stuff. So you have your tickets, right? So tickets up here. Tap on it, even doesn't do anything. That's basically like that's how you play the games without going on co-op, right? I'll get into co-op later, but that's how you basically play the game. Every mission that you do or event that you do costs 1 ticket. You can pay orbs for tickets. About that, I wouldn't recommend doing. I've done it a couple of times. If like I just summon on something and like I got everything I wanted, there isn't a banner for a while. But I really wouldn't recommend doing it, just because orbs are pretty valuable and you want to save those. Um, so those are your tickets, your coins. I think when you start the game now, you get like 1,000,000 coins, something like that. So like you don't really have to worry about that because it kind of just piles on top of each other. The more you play, so you should be fine. Um, but coins can be used to like coins are kind of used for everything that you do. And then you got your orbs. Orbs are the most like by far like I don't care what anybody says, that's the most important thing this game has to offer. Okay, because that's how you get all your characters. When you go to shop and summon, if you want to summon for a character you like, you use orbs. Want to summon for accessories, wouldn't do it. Done it a few times, waste of time. So if you want to do that for some reason, you get orbs. You need orbs. If you want to, once again, I wouldn't do a lot of these things that you can use orbs for. I really would just use orbs for summoning. But if you want to use orbs to get tickets, you need orbs. To max out someone's soul tree, you need orbs. You need orbs for everything. It's kind of like, yeah. Anyways, so yeah, orbs are kind of the most important thing. You get 5 orbs for every mission you do, for every new mission you do, and you do all the requests and everything. Um, as far as like getting orbs. I said this in earlier videos, but the best way you're gonna want to do it is probably max out your characters. When you first start out, you're gonna get 1 5 star automatically. That's just kind of like what the game does. So max him out. I would hold off on getting him 6 star just because you're probably gonna get a better character like soon. Like 100%, you'll get a better character soon because they don't really give you good characters. So I wouldn't get a 6 star. But when you get into 5 star, you get 50 orbs. And yeah, it's just a good way to get your orbs. Yeah, every 4 star you max out is 35 orbs. Plus it's not that hard to max them out just because of cone. Now the cone's a thing. It's kind of like you do 1 or 2 of those, and like you get a maxed out 4 star. It's pretty quick. You get your rhythm going, and then you get like 400 orbs in 1 cone if you have enough characters. You know what I mean? But yeah, what else is there? All right, let's talk about like the characters themselves. There's 5 different attributes, which are I think it's like speed, power, mind, heart, and I'm tripping. speed, power, mind, heart. I don't know the last one, whatever. Blue, red, green, orange, purple. Um, it's like there's like a triangle and there's like the two other ones. So purple and orange, they're strong against each other. Basically, like they do a lot of damage to each other, so it kind of balances out. Red does a lot more damage to green. Green does a lot more damage to blue, and blue does a lot more damage to red. Um, you want to just keep that in mind when you're going into missions because it tells you what kind of enemies you're gonna face. So if you have like an all red team and all the enemies are blue, you might not want to do it. You might want to think of bringing a green character. Um, that's pretty much that. That's all you gotta know for that. Um, I guess we could talk about there's 5 stars in the game. That's what you summon, and to get into 6 star, you're gonna need Hogyokus, which you can get through like you can get through summoning most of the time. You can get wrong thing. You can get them through crystal quests, which I'll talk about later. You can get them a lot of ways by just really playing the game at this point. And then you'll get all of them. Like right now, I have 41 and then 12 Hogyoku Wills, which Hogyoku Wills are basically what you need to get them from once they're 6 star and they're maxed out at 150. Use 3 Hogyoku Wills, and that gets them to be able to get to level 200, which is like the max. Um, that might take a while just because I said you don't want to get your first 5 star to a 6 star just because it's probably not going to be that good. And you want to wait till you get a better character to save those Hogyokus. So that's that. Let's look at when you first get into the game. It's gonna make you do the tutorial. Just go ahead and do that, and then you're gonna have 25 tickets when you first get in, and a 5 star, and then some sort of like 3 star Ichigo or something like that. What you're gonna want to do is you're gonna first see if Kone's up. You're gonna want to do that, get all the way to the very hard. It's not up right now, so I can't show you. But you want to get all the way up to the very hard, and then do the 5 ticket on the bottom. I can show you that. It'll pop up like, let's say I want to do. It has to be a quest you've already done before. So let's say I want to do this one, like the Toshiro, whatever. Oh my god. It has to be a quest that you like 3 star. I don't know why I did 3 star, but like, all right. So let's see what you want to do for this one. I'm tripping. You can't do it for it. I forgot. Silly me. No, but like the crystal one, right? I did the red one. Go to very hard. If you want to do it like ×5, which basically it means that you use 5 tickets, but you get all the rewards for doing it 5 times. You don't have to do it once, so it's a really big time saver. You just click on this right here. This little like box on here. You click on it. The green check bar comes up, and then you go ahead and do the mission. Go ahead and do that. He'll probably get to around like 60. He'll get to 60, like relatively quick, maybe like a few times of doing it, and then once he's at 60, you're gonna want to ascend your characters. Now, basically, what that means is that every character, depending on what star they are, has like a max level, like before upgrading, right? So 5 stars is level 60, 4 stars I think it's 40. Oh no, 4 stars is 50, and 3 stars are 40. So what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to take the let's say let me see if I have one that I can do it for. Let's say I want to like max out again, right? What you'd want to do is you'd want to let me go back so I can show you what I did. Click on the character. You want to click on augment, right? This is going to be the first thing that pops up. This bar right here is how close they are to getting one more of these. Each one of these is 5 levels so they can go higher. And in order to get them like maxed out, to get like as strong as you can be as a 5 star, you need to get all 4 of those filled up. And that's the same thing for 3 star, 2 star, 1 star, 4 star, 5 star, 6 star. All the stars are the same. You need to get those 4 maxed out. Obviously, when you get them to a higher level star, like a 5 star needs a lot more characters to be put into them than a 2 star does. You know what I mean? But the good thing about Cone is that when you do Cone, you get a 4 star Cone every time, at least one. Sometimes you get 3, sometimes you get 2. But especially if you do the 5 time ticket thing, you get a bunch of you'll get like anywhere between like 5 to like 10 cones every time you do it, and that can really and then basically you want to come here and then just dump all the. First you want to max out the cone. We say that max out the cone, get your orbs from him, which I'll talk about later. But you want to use your coins to ascend your other characters because since you're getting so many of them, you don't need that. You only need one to max out. You know what I mean? So like you just go ahead and tap on it, click fuse. Use coins to do it. It's not that much. Um, and then his max level is increased, right? Um, Once you get him to level 80, you're going to need to go to the soul tree, and you're gonna have to max this out. Now to get him to the max level to get your orbs, um, you don't have to max the whole thing. All you gotta do is basically just fill out this defense tree, and then come here to this green one, fill that out, and then just do this one because this one gets them to the highest level. So once that's maxed out, you're fine. Like if you don't want to keep the character and use him, if you're just like getting him for orbs, then you don't have to do the whole tree if you don't want to. Eventually, I would say though, like after you have like your team of like 6 stars and everything like that, and you're just kind of like trying to get orbs, I would say start getting your 5 star characters that are already maxed out to 6 star, because then it's just more orbs that you can get from them. But so that's that about that. That's pretty much the gist of characters. Yeah. Oh, nothing. Once you do get your character to 6 star, once you decide you want to get him to 6 star, um, you'll find that each character has different like powers or whatever that they get once they get to 6 star, and like a lot of those powers, it'll explain what they are. Um, but in order to get those powers, you're gonna have to get these things called raid characters, which let's say for Mayuri, whatever, right, or Yamamoto, whatever. Like he's maxed out right now, but in order for me to max him out, what I had to do was that, like, let's say this skill right here, which is long reach, increase normal attack area effect, whatever. I'd have to get one of these Retsus and one of these Izurus, whatever, right? So in order to do that, I'd have to go to events. You can also do it on co-op. I'll show you co-op in a second, but you go to events and you'd have to go to the raid. So you see how this raid gives you this character, which is the same character that I would need for Yamamoto. It's like that. So every day they come up with a new batch of raid characters that you can get. Which basically, yeah, you're gonna want to look out for the ones that you need so that you can max out your characters relatively quickly. Also, another trick that you can do to make sure you get the right characters that you want is if you go to 6 star intensive course, if you press the little I in the top right hand corner, you can see which ones, because basically this is like, oh, these for this week or whatever, these 5 stars or these 6 stars, you can just spam their missions and then get all the characters you need without having to worry about the raid characters. So what you can do, you can see if you can see if one of these characters that they need is ones that also works for yours, because then you can just spam that one and get that character. I don't know if that made sense, but just look for the characters you need and like look at where you can get them, just so you can speed up the process of like maxing them out. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Events, you're gonna want to do events a lot, especially the ones that have like the lottery or like the point system, just because that's how you get your items. And like, I've said this before, items, the thing that you need to have a good account really are items. You can have all the best characters, but if you don't really have good items, kind of like you still have a good account. It's just not as good as it can be, not even close. Yeah, items are the way to go. Maybe we can talk about items now. So, go to accessories. And the highest items you can get are 5 stars, 5 star, 4 star, 3 star, 2 star, 1 star. When you start out, you're going to do these events. You're going to get a lot of 2 star items. And you're going to get, like, premium accessory tickets. So you're going to want to use all those tickets because it's free. It doesn't cost any orbs or anything. You just get items. And then once you get a couple 3 star items, this is what you're going to do. I don't really have a lot of 3 star items anymore because I need to grind some more. But let's say you wanted to max out this 3 item, right? So basically, you tap on it, go to strengthen, and then you would put in all your 2 star items. Do not level up a 3 star or 4. Don't level up any item using anything more than a 2 star. If that makes sense. Like you want to keep all your 3 star items, you want to keep all your 4 star items, you always want to keep all your 5 star items. So if you have a 3 star item, you want to level it up using 2 star items or power hearts, which you can get through like it comes like the more you play, the more you get them. So yeah, like let's say you want to level up, you would just press on one of them, and then it would level up. I'm not gonna use it because it's a 4 star item, but once you level one up, you can do that to another item, another 3 star item. Once they're both leveled up, you're gonna want to evolve it, which basically gives you a random 4-star item, which is like, you know, that's kind of like the bread and butter as far as getting your items goes. You can use orbs for them, um, but it's not really worth it. Um, but yeah, so items are kind of the way to go. There isn't really much to talk about them as far as just leveling up and upgrading to the next thing. Um, yeah, so that's items. Let's go into co-op. All right, co-op is kind of like it's there's gonna be a certain point when you're playing the game where you're gonna realize that you don't really like either you run out of tickets or you don't really have like things to do anymore. Um, like in just the regular game within the story, and who wants to do that. So you're gonna go to co-op, and co-op basically has most of the events that are up right now. Inheritance Zone, which I would hold off on that until you have a 6-star character maxed out, and then also the raid characters. So if you, um, let's say like you don't have any tickets, but you need a raid character for one of your guys, and like it's about to end for the day, you come to co-op, and then just hope that someone else is doing the co-op. You can also host a co-op if you want, and use tickets. Yeah, it's just really up to you. Yeah, co-op is the way to go. They're gonna have these things called fusion trials every day, or basically that's how you get your power. So you get like items, and you also get power hearts from it. You get these evolution powders and these things called uh, books of I don't know, books of speed or whatever. It depends on the color it is. For this one to be books of speed, um, but you're gonna need both of those to get a 4-star blue item to 5-star. Um, and that's actually really important. Once you get your 4-star item maxed out, you're gonna want to get those 2 items and then just get him to 5 to get that 4-star to a 5-star. Um, yeah, co-op is a good place to be. When you're first starting out, co-op is great because every single time you play with a new character, play with a new person, you get 3 orbs. So let's say co-op is usually a thing of 4 people, so you can get 9 orbs every single time you do a co-op mission. So it's a good way to get orbs. Unfortunately, there is a max at 600 orbs. So once you hit that 600 mark, you're not going to get any orbs from it anymore. Um, but it's a good way to get raid characters, level people up if you don't have any more tickets. It's kind of like the thing to do once you hit a certain point in the game. All right, let's talk about PvP battles now. So that's kind of like it's kind of like its own thing. It's not really like it doesn't really correlate with the rest of the game as far as like leveling up or whatever, anything like that. Um, but it's a cool aspect of the game. So basically, you're gonna have your team. There's different leagues. So there's like League 10 all the way down to Captain's League. You know, obviously the further you get, the harder the people you have to fight get. So like right now, my average attack is 1,085. I'm only in rank 6, I think. Yeah, I'm only in rank 6. So like the lower I get, like the higher up on the rankings that I get, the people are gonna be having like 1,500 attack or something simple like that. Uh, so it's good to see like where you're at with your characters. So basically, to do it, you just go to prepare for battle. Make sure you have your team set up. Like this is my team right now, and there's different strategies that you can use it. So you can do special strategy, which basically gives you 10% more stamina, and it helps you get the soul bomb, which that basically automatically activates your special ability, which can, depending on who you have as using it, it can really change. It can win you the match very easily, for the most part. Then you have attack, which is probably the most common one, which basically it prioritizes strong attack. So basically, when you first start out the fight, you're gonna use all your strong attacks first, so that you get as much damage as you can, depending on what kind of person you are, and then you go ahead and use your auto attacks. That's pretty much the most common one. I go ahead and do special just because we'll talk about that later. And the last one's attribute, which basically, let's say it's like you have a team of like green, red, and blue, whatever, and their team is also green, red, and blue. It'll make it so that you fight against your attribute advantage. So your green will be fighting against their blue, your blue against their red, your red against their green. Mind you, that's really only good if you have a team that's like green, red, and blue, and against a team that's green, red, and blue. But like, I wouldn't really use that one. The two you want to be sticking with is probably attack or special, is because they're the better. They give you better advantages. Yeah. So basically, every single time you fight, You get to see what average attack they are, and I wouldn't. Let me stress this enough. You cannot really use that as a parameter, like as a barometer of how good the account is or how strong they are, because here, let me show you. Like, for instance, my attack is 1085, right? This guy's attack, Gray, he has the Kenpachi or whatever. His is only 908. Now, you might be thinking, oh, your attack's 100 higher than his, easy win, right? Or 200 higher is an easy win. You know, it shouldn't be hard at all. That's not necessarily true because they base it on the like the literal stat attack on everyone's on all three characters. And the thing about that is that some characters aren't meant to have high attack. They're meant to have high spiritual pressure, which is like your strong attacks, right? So let's say like a character has like a really high spiritual pressure, but like kind of like an average like attack, and their spiritual pressure makes them do a lot of damage with their abilities. You won't be able to tell from their attack because you'll think that their attack is low, even though they don't really care about attack because that's not their main attribute. Like that's not their main skill. You know, their main thing is the spiritual pressure. So let's say I went to go fight him. Like he might win just because of like the spiritual pressure, right? So they're all max level 200, and based on if you just looked at the attack, then like he just kind of wiped me out. Oh, or maybe not, but like oh yeah, he did. Yeah, he wiped me out. But like you see, you can't really use that as a barometer. You kind of have to like the more you play, the more you learn which characters you want to avoid, which characters you want to fight. This is a little like as just like a little precursor just before you guys do it. Avoid these I would recommend against avoiding these characters. Yamamoto, I'd avoid the green one. He's just really stupid right now. Another one you want to avoid is this person right here, Unohana. Don't fight her, all right? Like unless you have Yamamoto or Unohana, don't fight her. I don't care. Oh, but her attack is so much low. Don't fight her. She'll win. I'm sorry. She wins. You know. Yeah, like you see like 1400 attack these people have. Like don't do that kind of thing. If you have a green character like me, don't fight the Toshiro because you'll lose every time. You'll freeze you die. Another one is for the most part this Kenpachi. If his attack is like somewhat close to yours and they have a Kenpachi on the team, don't fight it because that means that you're not. It won't even be close. Like there are certain characters you learn who not to fight. Obviously, if your captain is like doesn't have doesn't have the attribute advantage and like is at a disadvantage, I wouldn't do it either. But once again, the more you do it, the more you'll learn, and you'll see who to avoid, who not to avoid. But yeah, so every single time you fight, there's 3 zones. There's promotion zone, safe zone, and demotion zone, whatever it's called. So basically, when you're in rank, let's say in rank 10, you fight a lot, you win some, you lose some, whatever it is. You get points every single time you win or lose. Obviously, if you win, you get more. The more you win in a row, the more points you get. It's like a streak thing kind of going on. So when you when you win your points, when you get your points, whatever, you want to get as many as you can before the week's up, so that you can get promoted to the next league. Honestly, if you're playing, if you're using your 5 soul tickets or your 10 soul tickets every day, like on the fighting whatever, and if you win like I don't know half of them, and we do it every day, you should be fine. You should be promoted every week, for the most part, as long as your team's also getting stronger. Right, the more you play. So yeah, you should be getting that. And then also once you like get to a high enough ranking and everything, or even once you get promoted, once you get these things called medals, and that's kind of like the currency of the PvP section. Let's just go to that now. And like the higher you are, obviously the more medals you get every week. So there's a thing called medal exchange right now. I have 765. Like you wanna exchange. You can exchange your medals for 5-star characters, which I'd recommend doing for your first time through because I think they give you like. They give you a lot. They give you enough medals to get one of this when you first start your account. So I'd recommend getting one of these 2. Depending on which characters you have, because as you can see, damage reduction basically is the best soul trait you can get in this game right now as far as PvP goes, and you're gonna want to get as many of those as you can. If it's kind of like a you kind of need it if you want to do well in PvP. So I'd recommend getting one of these two as soon as you can. And then you can also use it for stuff like crystals, which I wouldn't recommend because you can just you can farm them pretty easily. Jewels, once again, you can farm them. Awakening materials, if you're really in a need of a Hogyoku, which you shouldn't be because you can get them pretty quickly. You can use it for that. I wouldn't recommend it, but it is what it is. You can get power hearts from here, which once again you can farm all these things. Most of the things that you can get, you can farm off. The only thing I might be like, okay, that's a good idea to get. Maybe is if like you have a 5-star item and you don't like the second effect of it, which basically when you get a 4-star to a 5-star, it gets second effect. So let's say the item is like a chappy and it's like, oh, basically it's like all your stats are plus 30%, but then you lose all your spiritual pressure, right? Let's say you get that, and then like for some reason the second effect that, because it's random, so the second effect that it gives you is like, oh, plus 10% spiritual pressure, and it kind of like it's literally used as a second effect. You can get one of these. Mine did 3,000 medals. So I mean, you do you, man. If you want to go ahead and sell for that, you can. I personally wouldn't do that, just because if you get another 5-star item, then you can just use that to switch it. But like, yeah, you can do it if you want. It's just a lot of medals. It's a lot of time to spend to get all that stuff. You can use it for soul tickets, which is a good way because you're gonna need a lot of soul tickets. I've done that a few times. And then summoning tickets. I wouldn't do this. I've done it for the accessories. It's not worth it, like at all. Yeah, it's not worth it. Yeah. So the more the more you play, the higher you'll get. The more medals you'll get, the more stuff you get. It's a pretty self-explanatory thing. Yeah, that's pretty much the game. I guess we can talk about guilds, which it's not really special right now. You basically join a guild and you have people that are in your guild, and you get very small bonuses for being in one. Not enough to where like you know it's not enough to really think about, honestly. If you join one, you join one. If you don't, you don't. You don't really get that much from it. Um, but Yeah. That's that. I'm pretty sure I covered everything for the most part. Um, yeah, yeah. So that's gonna be the end of the video. Um, if you guys have any questions, leave it down in the comment section below. I'll be happy to answer them. If you like the video, go ahead and hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button if you're new. Trying to build up the channel. And once again, posting every day. Yeah. Hopefully this helps you guys out. Yeah, and once again, if you have any questions, leave it in the comment section below. I'll go ahead and answer those for you. So yeah, all right. See you guys.